Well, I guess we kind of skipped the countdown, Lucretia.
No
we forgot
problems,
to
no problems at all.
forgot to forgot to hit the countdown button. Anyways, so this is Jonathan Alexander, your News Arizona, and I'm honored today to have Lucretia Hughes on our show. And Lucretia has the
Yeah.
Real News with Lucretia Hughes show, and we are going to start having that broadcasting on Q Broadcast Channel 24 for all of our social media people out there. And her show times are going to be from 12 p.m. Eastern Time to 1 p.m. And then the evening show for Lucretia will be 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Lucretia, it's an honor having you on our program today.
Hey, Jonathan, we are so excited because tonight's show is 1880.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys got a lot of shows.
Well, and I
And
want everybody to recognize, especially on the Q Broadcasting Network, is that this is a very interactive show. I don't learn unless I'm taught. And what I ask is for people to bring me the receipt. That is the point of reference, the proof of where they're finding their information that can be verified. Because we have so many people out there just want clickbait or rage baiting. No, I would rather grow and learn and become self sufficient, no matter if it's prepping, no matter if it's looking out for what's going on at the border, no matter if it's laws, procedures, or taxes, because I'm a grandmother of 9. So it's not about me anymore. It's about getting out the real truth and opening up people's
amen.
eyes to the possibilities that the government is not here to save you.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. And you know, Lucretia, that's one of the things we do when we're out in the field. I believe in live broadcast. We don't
Yes.
cut, we don't edit our videos. It's a live stream for the world to see it. And we got a border trip coming up starting Monday. We'll be down there 5 to 6 days straight, and it's going to be a live feed right from the border. And so, in other words, you know, we've had times we've been down there reporting, we've come under fire, and when it happens, the world sees it.
Well, I
And
can
we
tell
don't.
you this, just be safe. Be safe
Yeah,
down there. We saw what happened at the airport. We saw shutting down our airspace. We know that there are some big things that are moving. Like you said, there's big major events that are happening down there with the 10,000 soldiers that's down there. But
yes,
people got to
ma'am.
recognize that this is a leftover from all of the useless policies of Biden and leaving our border wide open. This is what we're getting. And so we cannot be a nation unless we have a secure border.
100% agree. And you know, over the 4 years of the Biden administration, you know, we've been down there reporting where the Army Corps of Engineers were in there cutting out sections of Trump's wall. We got it right
Hmm.
on footage for the world to see it. We were down there when the Biden administration was selling off the wall for pennies on the dollar, you know, and that's not what the American people voted for. You know,
No.
that's not what people wanted. We want
Well,
secure borders, and I'm all about legal immigration, Lucretia. I
Well,
really
we
am.
could see what the American people wanted, voted overwhelmingly for President Donald Trump. That's not disputable at this point. But the Democrats, their party is slowly dying out. They have no idea what they want to stand for. They have no idea if they want to be globalist, if they want to be a democracy, but we are a constitutional republic. And when the American citizens actually figure out exactly why the wool is being pulled over their eyes for so long, you will understand that we are being governed by satanic rulers or people that want to be rulers. So right now, there's so many different ways that we could take this show. And like I said, we're going to be looking for articles, news articles, interaction with the audience. So we're not new here. We take articles from all around the world. And if it goes against God, family, country, or the support of Donald J. Trump, I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, or a libtard, I will rip you a new one.
Yeah, I love it. You're a lot like me in that category. I'll tell you. You know, and
So
that's
I
what I tell
appreciate it.
people. That's what I tell people, Lucretia. Anytime you guys want to call into our studio, call into 928-385-4738. We'd love to answer any questions or listen to any comments you have to make. Um, that we will not allow anybody to be on our show with disrespect.
Nope,
So
not at all.
we're all about freedom of speech, but at the same time, you're going to be respectful on our show. Um,
No, I'm good with freedom of speech, but I'm not good with freedom of consequences because you will pay the consequences. I
that's
don't do
right.
trolls. I don't do shims. If you can't figure out who you are, I can't have a conversation with you. If you don't love Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, I probably ain't gonna like you either. And at
Mhm.
the age of 51, I don't think I'm gonna be trying to mend fences with anyone anytime soon.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Lucretia, I've been following you for a long time as well, and the work that you do. And you've actually had me on your broadcast a couple times now. Um, and you do amazing work, and you're right to the point. That's what I love about you. You don't take any
Well,
bull from anybody. You call black black, white white. It doesn't matter. You know, it's what you see is what you call, and that's what I love about you guys. You guys are very open and honest about everything.
well, thank you
Yeah.
for actually giving us our first show over and past the Mississippi River. I
Well,
didn't think I was gonna ever make it past the Mississippi of getting it out there, but like I said, I'm not new. I'm on the board of directors of the NRA. I'm a national ambassador for the Veterans for America First. I take my 2A, standing up for my soldiers, protecting the elderly and the
awesome.
innocent among us. That is our jobs now, and it took a long time for me to realize this is what it means when we're supposed to make the earth, our planet, a better place than what we're leaving it. And right now we're in turmoil all across the nation. And you know what? It's time for us to stand back up in the gap.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what I got to say. I'm very proud of you and Dave both for all the work and dedication that you guys have put into this, the endless hours that you sacrifice out of your life to get the truth out to America. That's so important nowadays because there's very few of us broadcasters out there that call it like it is. They try to muster it up, make it look like something it's not. And I tell people, you know what? Why are you doing that? Sooner or later, the truth is going to come out. You're going to be exposed, and
Well,
that's what.
technically, if you really remember and you really think about it, we're old enough to know the great journalists. We're old enough to know the great podcasters, news anchors, all of that. We grew up in this time. So if you want to call me the Black Barbara Klondike, we're just gonna throw some names together. Barbara Walters and Mr. Klondike. If you know what, then that's who I'm supposed to be. I am not here to sugarcoat it for you because the Bible don't sugarcoat it for us, and we was
Amen.
raised as Gen Xers by the great silent generation. You stop rolling over and playing dead and you stand back up for the least of these.
Right. Well, it's an honor having you here today. I want to get that out there, and I'm looking forward to watching your broadcast live on Q Broadcast Channel 24. If you guys are interested in Q Broadcast, up in your left-hand corner, which I'll put right here for you guys. If you guys want to sign up for Q Broadcast for $69.99 a month to give you unlimited everything: HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, Stars, Encore, pay per views, all your sports networks, college sports networks, you name it, you get it. Plus, all your local programming as well, and your local news. And right there in the left hand corner of the screen, you guys can scan the QR code, check out Q Broadcast. They don't hold you to any contract, so it's month to month. If you don't like it, cancel anytime. I'm sure you guys will love it. Um, but Lucretia, you guys have covered so many topics, and
Mhm.
I've seen people even try to sometimes argue different things, and at the same time, it's like you're kind of like me. It's like, well, show me your facts.
Mhm.
Don't just tell me, show me. And that's what I require. If someone's going to tell me something, back it with the facts. Because
Exactly.
trust me, I'm going to research it. And if I'm ever wrong, I'll be the first to tell my audience, sorry, I made a mistake on this. And but I'll come clean to make sure my audience knows. Then that's just who I am. I believe that America deserves to know the truth, and we do our best to investigate everything that we cover. I'm also a private investigator. I think you know that. Um,
Yes.
so we don't just cover the news; we investigate every last thing that we try to cover to make sure we're getting it out 100% accurate to our audience. And that's
I
what I
love
love
it.
about you. That's what I love about you guys because you guys do the same thing.
And you know what? We have our character, our voice, and our integrity, and our voice is all of that wrapped up into one. So we worked hard to have upstanding character and integrity to where people will come on our show. We'll believe what we got to say because we're not here trying to be scripted. We don't want to sound like anybody else. And most of the time we touch topics that mainstream media and all these other people will never talk about. And they will only talk about it if they're scripted. We're not scripted at all.
Yeah, 100% agree. Anything you'd like to tell the audience about some of your broadcasts that you do?
Well, other than, you know what? Like I said, I learn if you teach me. If you're open minded, you're going to get in the chat room. I don't like followers because I have no idea unless you're a follower of Christ. Other than that, God don't make mistakes. You came across me for a reason, and it's either to teach me a lesson or me teach you. Either one, we're going to sit back. We're going to enjoy each other. You're going to join the family because that's what we call each other is fallback family. We don't do followers on our show. Most of the time, I'm probably praying for you or laying hands on you. So you take a pick on which way you want to be introduced to me because you get.
Oh, did we just lose you, Lucretia? Okay, we'll give Lucretia Hughes a second to come back on. So we got her. She'll be going live again Monday through Friday, 12 Eastern Time to 1 p.m. And then from 5 p.m., and here she is.
We are going to talk about it.
And then she will also be live on the air from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday.
Yes, I am now having to watch my tone and my tongue. And this is what I call the glitter bomb. So if you ever known about the glitter bomb or the F bomb, if you see me throw it at my husband or drop it on the table, you know what it stands for.
That's right. Well, we're all human and we do make mistakes. I can tell you that.
Well, I put it to you like this. If you're not cussing, you really ain't paying attention. Yeah. One more time. If you're not cussing in your heart, in your spirit, or out loud, you're really not paying attention to what the powers that be has in store for us and what they've been doing. You don't pay attention to the globalists or Davos or the World Economic Forum, not by a long shot. You definitely do not pay attention to the World Health Organization. So if you ain't slipped out a couple of cussing words right about now, are you really alive?
Amen. And you know, and here's the thing as well. I tell people I can handle almost every cuss word out there. Just don't use the Lord's name in vain. That's all.
Booyah. Boo. Yeah. There you go. There you go. And I have Christianism. So if you try to correct my language, just let you know right now, that's a Christianism. You'll learn them, you'll adapt to them, and you're probably saying them to yourself. So I will throw 5 words together in my Southern dialect, and I understood what I said.
I love it. So, well, even myself here on national TV, I had to clean up my mouth some, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I used to drop the F-bomb quite a bit in some of my broadcasts. I got to admit it. And
that's called maturing. That's called maturing. Yeah. That is exactly what we're doing. God is elevating us on a higher plateau. So it's just maturing, and we're just going to keep on maturing.
Yep. So, real quick, Lucretia, I've got to do a little promotion for Loaded Gun Coffee, one of our major sponsors for Your News Arizona. Stephen Terry Thomas out of Lake Havasu, Arizona, with Loaded Gun Coffee donates a portion of each sale over to Your News Arizona. Just enter in the reference code Your News AZJTA. And they've also got a great line of Patriot products. So scan the QR code, check it out. It's what I drink every morning for my coffee. Wouldn't have anything else. But that's Loaded Gun Coffee, folks. Check them out. So, but you know, Lucretia, this is like my 7th broadcast today. I'm kind of hoarse. But we've got a lot of stuff in the works right now. We're going to be live on the border. So we're going to be broadcasting that, getting the truth out to America. If you guys want to share that broadcast, you're more than welcome to do it on your channel as well.
Absolutely.
I'm very honored to see our active soldiers, active duty, not National Guard, but our active duty ones down on the border. And it tells you a lot when they send active duty to the border.
Mm-hmm. That means that we're level red at this point.
Yeah, it's not just a walk in the park down there, folks. That's one of the reasons why, for those of you guys that keep having all these speculations about what was going on in Texas, where they shut down the airspace. I can tell you right now, has everything to do with the cartel and
Yep.
the war we're getting ready to get into with Mexico.
I heard there was drones. They were
Yeah,
sending drones over the border.
that's exactly what they've been doing. And they've been doing the same thing down in the Yuma sector as well. Yuma has found a way to block their transmission, and those
Hmm.
drones were falling out of the air.
Good. Sound
But
like something they
now,
pulled in Venezuela.
yeah, but now the problem is the cartel figured it out. Now they've got another technique that they're using that we've got to figure out because now these drones are making it past wherever they're going. So people underestimate the cartel every day. These guys have China that works with them. They also have been highly trained. Um,
Yes.
so anybody that thinks we're just going to stomp over the cartel, it's not going to be a wham bam, it's over. It's not going to happen that way, folks. And unfortunately, we will see loss of life. Hate to say it, and on both sides. So keep our men and women down on your borders in your prayers. Our military, our ICE agents, and our border patrol. Just keep them
Absolutely.
in your prayers. Lucretia, I know
Yes.
you've got a busy day. I've got a couple other things I've got to cover today, unless you want to stick on. But right now, we've got so much corruption going on that's being exposed. I
Yes.
know they just came out with a bunch on Obama as well that we're going to cover here in a second. And it's just like unbelievable what we're seeing. My question is, why are we not seeing mass arrest?
That's a whole
Yeah,
nother topic. That's a whole nother topic. But sooner or later, somebody gonna have to be arrested behind the Jeffrey Epstein, because their taste of children has not been quenched. So they still doing it out there, and it's time to bring down that ring. And I really don't care if it's politicians. I don't care if it's global leaders. I don't care if it's business CEOs, CFOs. They all need to go.
Well, I had a person ask me yesterday, well, what if it was our president doing that?
And I guess he need
And,
to go.
and,
But if I'm gonna
that's what
tell you, like, we're
that's what
going to
I
go
told him.
ahead and stop this right now, because if it was Donald J. Trump, Barack Obama would not have to fabricate FISA,
Yeah,
RussiaGate, all the rest of this. They would have immediately zeroed in on that one. So that is how we know that Trump isn't in it. We have already
yep,
found out with the 6.5 million files that's been released. He was the very first dry snitch, and if people don't know
yep.
what that
Here's the
means,
whistleblower to it all.
thank
Absolutely,
you. He
you
was the
betcha.
very first one in 2006. So between 2006 and 2026, I'm sure, as much as the Democrats even sniffed Melania's underwear drawer, I'm sure they could have found something in Jeffrey Epstein to take this man down.
Yeah, and my hat is off to our president. He has been under attack even from the Patriots, and which disgusts me. And I tell
Yeah,
everybody the
they
same
fly by
thing because
nights. They
yeah,
fly by night. I don't
yeah,
I don't deal with those type of people. I
yep,
just don't deal with any of them. If you're gonna flip flop that much, then go over there and vote for Kamala and AOC when they become a ticket. But other
yeah,
than that, I keep scrolling on social media. It's not worth my time having a conversation
no,
with them. So if they think they could do the job even better, that's what your civic duties are for. You get your tail out there, you run for office, you run for president of the United States, and then maybe somebody will pay attention to you. But eventually, you wasn't had enough gumption or wherewithal to stand up for your own rights. So it took a man
that's
from left
right.
field to actually do it for you.
And that's what I love about Trump. He's not in this for the money. Matter of fact, he donates his paycheck
Hmm.
every year. You know that he's all about God, family, and country. And a lot of people
Yes.
don't know that about our president, but he's very much a good Christian man as well. Um,
So they're gonna hate him even more in May when he rededicate United States to our Heavenly Father. So I'm
amen.
waiting for the howling of the moon. It don't matter. He can't run again anyway. He's already one of the best presidents of our lifetime. And these people are fly by nights. These are the type of friends or associates you do not
Yep,
want in your inner circle, because they'll be the first one with a knife behind their back. So let the flip flops keep flip flopping. They are flip flop because they don't even recognize their own life or not satisfied in it. So I've already peeped out this game. I ran for office in 2016. I've been a part of the John Madison Forum, John Birch, Tea Party, Republicans, Republican Assembly, conservative, this, that, and the other. Who cares at this point? Keep splittering off. You keep doing you. You keep yelling from the sideline. Stop trying to get at the table because you ain't doing it but mucking it up. So I can guarantee you the majority of the people that are flip-floppers right now, if they had a chance, they would take a white envelope underneath the table.
That's right. And folks, this is why I keep telling you guys the same thing as well. If you guys want this country to where it was back in 2020, under Biden, take a look at how fast he opened our borders wide open.
And can we stop saying Biden, because that was Barack Obama third term? I mean,
that was him too. Yes. Yep,
there was like 6 different Bidens there. They couldn't figure out what mask they wanted on him that day. Yep. And then he had brown eyes, black eyes, and blue eyes. And I ain't talking about
he worked in his basement too.
He was waiting on a black woman to get up there and stock up the grocery store so he could come out of his rabbit hole.
But if you folks don't want to see this country go down like it did back in 2020, we have got to get out and vote. We've had special elections here in Arizona where Grijalva won Arizona again, but then he died. So they had a special election. Daniel Gutierrez would have won that election. Good Republican.
Well, we're going to see what's going on because Arizona, if y'all are hearing about Fulton County, Georgia, in the raid on getting the ballots to 700 boxes, Arizona is on the list. I mean, you got Captain Hobbs them out there. So, they missed.
Did you see all those election ballots they got out of California, Lucretia, up in the semis from all over the country?
That's why they don't want the SAVE Act. Because they don't want the SAVE Act. They're getting rid of their voters. I mean, John Podesta told you in the WikiLeaks past Julian Assange years ago, don't worry about the black vote. Don't worry about the poor white vote. We give them more money in their welfare check. They'll shut up. It's time to have a taco bowl. So when you realize the only way that the Democrats can ever win again is to have foreigners and illegals actually voting in their primary in the election, that's the only way Democrats can hold a seat. Because right now, 83% of United States citizens want the SAVE Act. And stop talking down to your voters, Democrat. Number one, you don't know what a woman is. So how you going to tell a woman she don't know where to get an ID at? Stop thinking that you finna sit here and pat all these poor people on the top of the head because you're making them sound stupid. So if anybody that don't know where to get an ID from, you better not have no food stamps. You better not have no welfare. You better not have no snaps or anything else like that because you're the epitome of a Democratic voter. So I'm over the Democrats talking about racism and Jim Crow when they the ones that are the authors of Jim Crow laws, authors of the KKK, and authors of dumb people in America. So no more of the Democratic Party. I don't pay attention to these fools anymore because they're freaks now.
I'll tell you what, have you ever listened to the Aaron Lewis Classroom Edition? I Am the Only One.
No, I have never heard him.
I'll send you guys. You got to listen. It's got some pretty foul language in it, but you've got to hear the song. What you just said is spot on to his music.
All right. I will listen to it.
Oh, yeah. I'll get it sent over to you. So, Lucretia, it's an honor having you on the show. You will be live on Q Broadcast, looks like this evening.
Yes.
So it's an honor having you on our program, and welcome to our show.
Thank y'all. And do not forget, it is noon Eastern Standard Time and also 5 to 7, 5 nights a week. Yes, 5 nights a week I am on. That's something I will never have to repeat myself. So that's 5 to 7 Eastern Standard Time over there in Arizona. Your mountain time, I am thinking. So that's 2 hours behind us, but you should be able to find us if you want to jump into the live stream so you could be a part of the Fallback family.
So technically, you're going to get done with your show at 5 p.m. my time.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys go ahead and broadcast live tonight on Q Broadcast because my show with Richard Gage, 9/11, doesn't start until 7 p.m., which would be 6 p.m. my time. So that'd be perfect timing anyways. So go ahead and broadcast live. Don't got to worry about pre-recording or anything.
Good.
Just broadcast live and let's get your message out there, and I'm going to sit behind the tube and watch you.
All right, then. Just remember, do not be eating anything. If there's anything you want to talk about, any topics that are on your mind, like I said, we're going to be on Q Broadcasting, channel 24, but you can also find us on any social media platform. Jump into the live stream. You will understand exactly what I mean. You will be part of the family. And if not, trust me, there's enough people over there that will put you in your place.
And do you guys ever have a call-in phone number for your audience?
We used to. I don't do that anymore because Zoom and Skype was easily to be hacked. So we was having foul people calling me the B word, the N word, and all this type of stuff. So we just cut that out. So unless you are, a interviewee and I'm doing a Zoom, I prefer for you to get in the chat room and type. Okay, type your message out, and majority of the time you're gonna see people respond to you before I can get to you. So if you say, "Hey, Krisha, I'm in the house," I'm not going to ignore you. I will give you, if you came here to spend time with me, then I'm going to give you the recognition that you deserve.
Yep. Well, looking forward to your broadcast. And then we're going to have Jim Price show as well each day, Monday through Friday. And that's going to be 4 to 5 Central Time. So hope you guys can tune in to Jim Price show as well on Q Broadcast. And it's an honor having Jim's show on our program as well.
Absolutely.
So we've got 2 great podcasters here that's going to be doing some amazing shows.
Well, let's do it, and let's have fun and learn at the same time.
Lucretia, God bless you and your husband. Appreciate all you guys do. Thanks for always speaking the truth and getting it out there.
Absolutely. I will see everybody later, and welcome to the family. And thank you so much, Q Broadcasting.
And welcome aboard.
Thank you.
So, all right. We'll see you guys soon then.
See you soon.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and cover a little bit of the broadcast here that I'm talking about with all the corruption. And I want to get that out there to you guys. Well, actually, that's the wrong broadcast, folks. Sorry about that. My apologies. Okay. See if I can find it for you. Okay, got it. Sorry about that.
In the 2018 interview with the Harvard Gazette, he talked about how
in just 6 months, we are truly just getting started, and we look forward to working with all of you for the next 3.5 years. On another matter, over the past few days, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has unveiled shocking new evidence that former President Barack Obama and top aides in the Obama administration conspired to subvert President Trump's 2016 election victory and undermine the democratic will of the American people. While publicly pretending to engage in a peaceful transfer of power, in private, former President Obama went to great and nefarious lengths to try to sow discord among the public and sabotage his successor, President Trump. The new evidence released by the Director of National Intelligence, who is here with me today, confirms that the Obama administration manufactured politicized intelligence, which was later used as the justification for baseless smears against President Trump in an effort to try to delegitimize his victory before he even took the oath of office. The truth is that President Trump never had anything to do with Russia, and the Russia collusion hoax was a massive fraud perpetuated on the American people from the very beginning. And the worst part of this is Obama knew that truth, and so did all of the other corrupt officials involved in this scam, including former CIA Director John Brennan, former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, former FBI Director James Comey, former Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, and many others. Director of National Intelligence Gabbard's report further confirms what we already knew. There was no collusion, no corruption, except on the part of Barack Obama and the weaponized intelligence agencies at the time. The Russia hoax was a blatant lie, all ginned up by Democrat political operatives that were signed off on by then President Obama and leaked to the news media to launch a years-long witch hunt against President Trump and his first administration. Allies of the president, including his own son, Donald Trump Jr., were disgustingly smeared as Russian assets, and some even had their lives destroyed because of this vicious lie. The president's first 2 years in office had this fake distraction hanging over it, and endless resources, time, and political capital were spent having to debunk these lies from the highest levels of our government. Now, nearly 10 years later, thanks to the declassification of documents by Director Gabbard, the truth has finally come to light. And this truth vindicates President Trump, his family, and his many allies and associates who were smeared with defamatory lies. President Trump was right from the beginning about all of this, and we are grateful that justice can be served. Now, we have even more damning evidence implicating those who tried to sabotage a duly elected president and did grave material harm to our republic. Thanks to additional important work done by CIA Director Ratcliffe, Committee Chairman Rick Crawford over the past few months, a newly declassified 2020 report prepared by the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, which DNI Director Gabbard has declassified, found that the intel community did not have any direct information that Russian President Vladimir Putin wanted to help elect President Trump in 2016. And in fact,
So I'm going to go ahead and pause this for a second, folks. I want you guys to just keep in mind, the amount of corruption that we have witnessed right now. All the evidence is coming forth. Why are we not seeing these arrests yet? Why is Obama not sitting behind bars yet? This is huge, folks. And I pray to God that we start seeing mass arrests. And Pam Bondi says we are going to start seeing it. So we will see what happens here soon. Let's see if we can get back to...
Russia was actively preparing for a Hillary Clinton victory. But at the unusual direction of Barack Obama at the time, the intel community published implausible intelligence suggesting otherwise. Why? To sabotage the incoming president. This is truly one of the greatest political scandals in American history. And reporters at legacy outlets, some of which are sitting in this room today, like the New York Times and the Washington Post, were ridiculously awarded Pulitzer Prizes for their perpetuation of this hoax. It's well past time for those awards to be stripped from the journalists who receive them. It is not journalism to propagate political disinformation in service of the Democrat Party and those in the intelligence community who hand over out of context and fake intelligence to push a false political narrative. I will now pass it over to the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, to speak more about all of this, and then we will open it up for questions afterwards. Tulsi, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. At President Trump's direction and with the support and coordination with the House Intelligence Committee Chairman Rick Crawford, today we've released a declassified Oversight Majority Staff report that was produced in September of 2020. The stunning revelations that we are releasing today should be of concern to every American. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. This has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic and American voters having faith that the votes cast will count. There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't. The report that we released today shows in great detail how they carried this out. They manufactured findings from shoddy sources. They suppressed evidence and credible intelligence that disproved their false claims. They disobeyed traditional tradecraft intelligence community standards and withheld the truth from the American people. In doing so, they conspired to subvert the will of the American people who elected Donald Trump in that election in November of 2016. They worked with their partners in the media to promote this lie, ultimately to undermine the legitimacy of President Trump and launching what would be a years-long coup against him and his administration. We're here today because the American people deserve the truth, they deserve accountability, and they deserve justice. The records that we released on Friday that were ODNI records, Senator Chuck Grassley's release on Monday of what is known as the Clinton Annex, which was an appendix to the Department of Justice Office of Inspector General's 2018 report, as well as the House Intelligence Committee's majority oversight report that we're releasing today, all come back to and confirm the same report. There was a gross politicization and manipulation of intelligence by the Obama administration intended to delegitimize President Trump even before he was inaugurated, ultimately usurping the will of the American people. I'm going to go over the key findings from the House Intelligence Report, which investigated the claims that were made by an intelligence community assessment ordered by President Obama and published in January of 2017. First, Putin's principal interests relating to the 2016 election were to undermine faith in the U.S. democratic process, not show any preference of a certain candidate. In fact, this report shows Putin held back from leaking compromising material on Hillary Clinton prior to the election, instead planning to release it after the election to weaken what Moscow viewed as an inevitable Clinton presidency. In the January 2017 intelligence community assessment that President Obama ordered, John Brennan, who was CIA director at the time, and the intelligence community intentionally suppressed intelligence that showed Putin was saving the most damaging material that he had in his possession about Hillary Clinton until after her potential and likely victory. The report goes into great detail about the information that Russia and Putin had on Hillary Clinton, which included possible criminal acts like secret meetings with multiple named U.S. religious organizations in which State Department officials offered, in exchange for supporting Secretary Clinton's campaign for the presidency, significant increases in financing from the State Department. They also had documents that showed the patronage of the State Department to State Department employees who would go and support Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. There were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers. Then CIA Director Brennan and the intelligence community mischaracterized intelligence and relied on dubious substandard sources to create a contrived false narrative that Putin developed a quote-unquote clear preference for Trump. Brennan and the IC misled lawmakers by referencing the debunked Steele dossier to assess quote-unquote Russia's plans and intentions, falsely suggesting that this dossier had intelligence value when he knew that it was discredited. The intelligence community excluded significant intelligence and ignored or selectively quoted reliable intelligence that contradicted the intelligence community assessment's key findings on Putin's alleged support for Trump. Including this intelligence reporting would have exposed the ICA's claim as implausible, if not ridiculous. The intelligence community assessment omitted reliably sourced information, such as how some Russian intelligence officials were quote-unquote planning for candidate Hillary Clinton's victory, while others assessed neither Trump nor Clinton would respect Russia's interests. As was reflected in the ODNI documents that we released on Friday, multiple intelligence community assessments released in the months leading up to the November 2016 election concluded that Russia had neither the intent nor capability to impact the outcome of the U.S. election. On December 5th of 2016, the FBI and ODNI gave the House Intelligence Committee its first post-election classified briefing, in which there was no mention of Putin aspiring to elect Trump by either agency. The Presidential Daily Brief, drafted on December 8th of 2016, stated that no Russian or criminal actors impacted vote counts. This document was pulled just hours before it was to be published due to quote-unquote new guidance. If it had been published, it would have been briefed to both President Obama and President-elect Donald Trump. On December 9th, 2016, a National Security Council meeting was called to gather President Obama's senior national security officials, which included CIA Director Brennan, then Obama DNI James Clapper, Susan Rice, and others. Following that secret meeting, DNI Clapper's assistant sent an email to the intelligence community with the subject line, POTUS tasking on Russia election meddling, tasking ODNI leaders to create a new assessment per the president's request. The House Intelligence Committee Oversight Report that we released today reveals that, quote, unlike routine intelligence community analysis, the intelligence community assessment was a high-profile product ordered by the president, President Obama. It directed senior intelligence community agency heads and created an intelligence community assessment limited to just 5 analysts using one principal drafter. This is not something that occurs in the normal path of producing an intelligence community assessment that reflects the views across the intelligence community. The production of this intelligence community assessment was subject to unusual directives directly from the president and senior political appointees, especially the former director of the CIA, John Brennan. The House Intelligence Committee Oversight Report also shows how later that same day, on December 9th, Brennan ordered the publication of quote-unquote substandard reporting on Russian activities, which had previously been withheld from publication of prior assessments because the information was judged, quote, to have not met long-standing publication standards. Some of the information later used in the Obama-ordered assessment over the objections of veteran CIA officers was, quote-unquote, unclear or from unknown sources. The Intelligence Committee's Oversight Report reveals that CIA Director Brennan overruled senior CIA officers who challenged the Obama-ordered intelligence assessment, stating, quote, we don't have direct information that Putin wanted to get Trump elected. Yet, the Obama-directed assessment was published on January 6, 2017, which explicitly stated, quote, we assess Putin and the Russian government aspired to help President-elect Trump's election chances when possible by discrediting Secretary Clinton and publicly contrasting her unfavorably to him, end of quote. The CIA and FBI, then led by John Brennan and James Comey, expressed high confidence in this judgment, while the NSA expressed moderate confidence. Yet, as the report we released today shows, the ICA, the Intelligence Community Assessment, did not cite any report where Putin indicated helping Trump win was an objective. The opposite is true. With regards to the Steele dossier, we now know that one of the source documents that the Obama administration used in the creation of this intelligence assessment in January of 2017 was none other than the discredited, unverified Steele dossier. The House Intel report states, quote, contradicting public claims by then CIA Director Brennan that the dossier was not in any way incorporated into this intelligence assessment.
All right, guys, we have all the proof of all the corruption now. We have all the proof of the election fraud out of Georgia, California. I mean, you name it. You take a look at what's going on back in the day of the Obama-Biden era, as we'll call it. They had a corrupt FBI working for them directly, intentionally trying to sabotage Donald Trump. They went as far as even trying to have him incarcerated. This is the stuff our president has had to deal with for quite some time. And, the reality is we have all this evidence. We need to see arrest. The American people need to see it. People are fed up with it, especially when the corruption is right before everybody's very eyes. We know now that Donald Trump was a major whistleblower in the Epstein back in the day. And, things should have happened back then. And like it should have. But what money can buy, folks, that's the best words I could use, what money can buy. And, but now it's time for us to see this. We've got it in hand. want to see the ball roll on this. If you guys have any comments or anything, feel free to make a comment or call into the studio, 928-385-4738. Again, this has gone on far too long, and it's time. So, and this is one of the things that we've got to focus on, folks. We've got to focus on keeping this country red, because if we don't do this, I guarantee you, the Democrats get in control. They're going to try to arrest our president. They're going to go after, Tom Holman. I guarantee you, they'll try to find anything they can do to get the man locked away. These Democrats are pissed off right now. They're basically pooping in their boots, because the evidence is there. People are seeing it. And I don't think the Democrats ever thought that Donald Trump would have all this evidence released, which he's done. But again, we need to see our president take action now, hold those guilty accountable. We need to see them incarcerated. And as far as I'm concerned, the people that they've done wrong, like Tina Peters, that's locked away in Colorado, they need to well compensate every one of these people out there that these Democrats have targeted. Tina Peters has been assaulted many times in prison over in Colorado. For those of you guys that don't know about Tina Peters, she exposed a lot of election fraud out in Colorado, and they ended up locking her up because she exposed it. And just like what they were trying to do to Donald Trump, they were trying to lock him up. Thank God things happen differently, and thank God we have Donald Trump for our president. And that's really about all I got to say about it. I'm just fed up. Today's broadcast, I wanted to advertise Lucretia Hughes. Again, her Lucretia Hughes show, which is Real News with Lucretia Hughes. And that starts at 12 Eastern time to 1 p.m. And then it will be in the evenings, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. So she'll have 3 hours a day on Your News Arizona for broadcasting. So I hope you guys can tune in to her broadcast. Also, don't forget to tune in to Jim Price's show. That starts at 4 to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then Jonathan and Julie D each and every morning, 7:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Hope you guys can join into our broadcast as well. Plus, we'll be periodically jumping on, giving live news updates throughout the day. And then again, we're going to be down starting on Monday on the border, reporting live from the U.S.-Mexico border. And we'll be down there for 5 days reporting. So hope you guys can all tune in for that as well. We'll be getting a lot of truth out there to America of what's happening on our borders. So other than that, guys, I've got a lot of work I'm doing, several meetings I've got to attend. Hope you guys can tune in, and we'll see you guys again here live soon. And Lucretia Hughes will be starting her show today at 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Mountain Time. Hope you guys can join her show as well. Sorry, guys, I'm really hoarse today. All right. God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be live again soon.